Hi friends, Sandra here at Blossom and Inspire. I am day one back from my trip. Well, I guess technically it's day two. I got back yesterday. Today, which is it's Saturday, October 11th, I believe, and I'm hitting the sales room hard. My goal, like I said, was to get it in order. Well, I tried measuring the room, measuring the components. I spent hours and hours and hours on this before I left for my trip, and it just wasn't coming together. So I'm in it. I'm going in by myself, and I am going to pull everything out of this room that I can possibly pull out of this room, and I'm going to start from scratch. I think that's going to be the easiest way to do it. So I'm going to give you a little scan. I already pulled a few things out, so let me get you caught up. And then this is not going to be videoed while I'm doing it because I really don't have a way to do that. If I can figure it out, we'll get video. But for now, it's going to be clips of parts and pieces as I attack the sales room. All right, here we go. So I've already pulled out, this is the rack, this is what I call my sales rack. So this is the rack that's easy for me to pull around. I have things on there on the bottom shelves that I will start selling that's not on my desk. And then as I move through those, then I use those shelves to stack your stuff as you're purchasing it. Right now I have it full of all kinds of stuff because it's easy to get the things out of the room. There it will sit, and I have our little office there closed off so we can't get in. And then I have all this space here to pull racks out. Now, going in, we will go, well, there's my sales room. I will skip that for just a moment. In the mechanical room, I cleared, so all that stuff is going to eventually leave, but until then, I'm going to use all of this space in here to get my stuff out of my room. I'm just going to pack it in there so that I can unpack it into the sales room. So all those silks are going to be bye-bye. I don't know if I have any silk lovers on here, but I'm getting rid of them. Like, they're going to go to the thrift store unless somebody else wants them. I can make you a really great deal and pack you a nice fat box of silks, because silks I will be done with. I might keep just a couple little tiny pieces, but that's it. So as you can see, I've already started stuffing my boxes and things in there. I took out what I need from the freezers, got it upstairs, just in case this takes me a week to do. I have all my videos pre-recorded for the month of October. This is why I'm not doing sales in October. Between trips and the clean out process, I needed to have dedicated time. So I have the metal table. Jason did pull that down here. We put that in. I put it sideways. It wasn't working. I do need it to work. But for right now, this is where it is. And it holds my all-in-one computer. And I like that. It's nice and sturdy. I can see straight across now when I do videos, but I still want the room to be a different way. So I'm going to, by myself, move all of these shelves, and I'm going to hope to do it with all that stuff on there and without it all falling off. I need to pull all that pile of all the linens, fabrics, all the different things. That's the stuff I'm pushing into the mechanical room for right now. And then all those two racks over there on wheels. There's one skinny black rack not on wheels, but the two big metal racks are on wheels. And that dresser is not on wheels. So we'll see. I think this is going to take me a couple days at least, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm a woman on a mission. All right, I'll get you caught up on the next one. Right. I think I'm 15 minutes in. Maybe 20. I mean, time's going by fast. I'm thinking I went through 3 full songs. So far, I've pulled out all of this. It's mostly sliding. So I'm going to be sore, super, super sore. So I'm packing myself out of my room here, out of my mechanical room. Yikes. And let me just spin you around. I'm stacking there, of course, because, you know, there's stackable space there. My floor is a mess. Ignore it if it bothers you. I mean, you can comment on if you want to. I already know. I'll beat you to the punch. It's dusty. It probably needs a good mopping. I'm pulling my racks out right here, and I'm just kind of stacking them. There's still walk space, so I can get out in the event of an emergency. Or if the stuff falls on me, hello, and I'm collapsed underneath it, whatever, Jason can make his way down to rescue me. All right, so now let's go back into the room, and you can see all the stuff I pulled out. And there's still a ton in here. I still have a ton. So I need to get that rack moved. And I'm going to have to move the furniture pieces around a couple of times until I find the right space that works for me. But you see that stand right here? I'm going to try and get my phone hooked up into it. and I'm gonna put it on film, just record, seeing if I can capture some of it. If I can get it into the corner, I'll move this stuff out and I'll put it in the corner. We'll see. At least that way I can just add some music and take off the sound. That way I can still listen to music, because my thing is, while I'm recording, I can't listen to music, and I want to listen to music. And you see that sign back in there? Accept no excuses, only results. I see that all the time, and I need to start paying attention to it. So my friends, I hope you enjoyed my process. I do like it. I like organizing and cleaning. I know it won't stay this way forever. It'll change again, but for now it needs to change drastically. Look at my big giant dust pile. Look at that. So yes, I definitely need to be sweeping more often. And then underneath my tables where I keep all my books, like I have my boxes of books, my 50 cents, dollars, $2 books, sometimes $5 books. And I just keep them down there under the table, and I refill those boxes after every sale to keep it going, because I find them all the time. All right, stay tuned. Okay, friends, I am going to take a break now. I think I've gotten quite a bit done. I think I also lost a huge clip of video footage. I don't know that it would have made it in there anyways. And all it was me getting my Ethernet cord pulled from the other part of the room. I have the longest Ethernet cord I think I can get. Anyhow, pulling it around so that it can come up and around that doorway and then come down, because my computer will sit over here at my desk. That's my, well, basically my main desk in here. So let me give you a little bit of a span. Huge mess out there. Don't look, close your eyes. So there's my office space right there. I still need to clean that up and get that in working order so that I can use that for just regular office and things like that, outside of YouTube stuff, I guess. It's a combo deal, you know. Anyhow, I moved my racks. So I've got the fabric rack right there. I had moved it in many different ways. What I'm looking for is space where I can move around and bring things in and do cells without tripping over things. So I'm a little concerned about that leg right there. Usually I'll put stuff around it, but again, that's going to limit my space right here. So maybe this rack I have over here on the side won't stay in the room. That's a possibility. But for now, this is what I did. I pulled the dresser and I flipped it backwards to my table, my main table, because I can still put my printer there. I can clean this off. I have a nice stable place for the scale, whatever, but I keep my shipping stuff in there. I did think about putting that behind me, which that might actually work now that I'm thinking about it. I have a table behind me. I may switch that, because now what I'll be doing, just to give you kind of some backstory on what's working. So my main table is where I sell at this table. I get things ready, I sell, I do all my invoicing. And my printer right now is over there. So if I move my desk, and this dresser is very sturdy, so this is what I put my scale on, because it's nice, weight, heavy duty, old dresser. And so I put my scale on there, and then I keep my packaging materials in there. Well, if I'm doing my invoicing sitting at the front of that table, then maybe this should be behind me over there where that table is. And I only put it there so I can put stuff underneath it. Do I need to do that? You know, that's probably part of my problem. I don't need to do that. I do like to keep my boxes and stuff of books underneath this table, so I think that will work. I'm used to having a longer table for more space for things when I'm selling, but I can always bring in a little table, you know, a makeshift thing, or I can learn to work with the space that I have. That's an option. I do have one really skinny, long thing that I maybe bring in. We'll see later on. But I think I'm going to do that really quick. So I'm going to go ahead and show you where I'm at. And then I'm going to swap that table out for the dresser. And I don't think I need that extra table in here then if I do that. I don't think so. We'll see. Anyhow, I moved, so this rack right here I have it already organized. It's got all my books. Well, it's kind of organized. It's mostly organized. So I still need to do some cleanup on there. And I do love looking at all these books. And I do need to sell all these books. So I'm going to have a major book sell. Like there's no tomorrow. It's going to be a book sale. And I'm thinking about just doing books only. Because then I can do media mail. I don't know. Just books only. That would be a separate invoicing. So does it make sense, you know, in the big scheme of things, to pay 2 separate invoices, have 2 sales in a month? I don't think it does. I don't know. I don't think it does. I've tried doing that with some packages that I was sending out of big purchases, you know, to see does it work out. And it really didn't. It was more shipping to do 2 separate packages because you're paying shipping twice. And there's a base. There's a minimum. All right. So enough of that. And then I have my little racks there. So I do like those little racks. I can only put so much weight on them. But honestly, what I did the last time, and I really loved it, is they were all cleaned off except for the top shelves. And I used that to put packages, like the bags, like that were orders that were ready. So I can get them ready. Because not only am I working here, and I'm working here for sales, and so I try to keep this cleaned off, working here for sales. Then after the sales, I need to move things. I need to do this for invoicing. I need a place to put stuff. So even though I'm packaging stuff and maybe spinning you around, maybe I'm doing the packaging back here, it's still not a huge amount of space. I need a place to put stuff. So brings me back to these big racks here, cleaning them off, having stuff that I want in here for the cells and bringing things in, because I have so much stuff that's outside of this room for cells, and then keeping this space so that I have a place to put the packages. Now, what I like to do and what I will probably stay with doing is using my movable rack, the one that's easy. And it's not in here, as you can see. So that one will probably, it'll be what I normally do. I just put it up against one of my racks. I don't need to see that stuff when I'm not selling. And when I am working and selling, it'll go right here. And I'll show you that in just a second. But before we get into there, let me just show you what I've done to my utility room. So hopefully we don't need to get to the the paneling, all the panel there, or the soft water tank is over there. The filtration system's there for our water. And then that's the, oh my gosh, I know what it's called, but you know what it is. You know, the power board. But there, my washer, my freezer, my downstairs washer and dryer, which Jason has to figure out. We think there might be a little leak or something behind there, so I haven't been using it. But look it, I cannot get in here. And all this stuff like this cannot go back in the room. So I used to have one of those big metal racks right there on that wall. And I may go back to getting one in here and then putting some of my back stock in there and then start selling from there. I just don't want, my rooms never look like this. And I don't want them to look like this. I have had rooms like this before in the past. I can't work in this. Mine's not strong enough. So got my shipping stuff right there. And then, so now when you walk into the room at this moment in time, this is what we walk into. So I think this rack's gonna have to leave. It doesn't really serve a purpose except for storing stuff. And then walking around, I have a huge area right there to walk around. I have wall space. So maybe Jason could put some shelves here. That's what I'm thinking, for some of my packaging supplies, things that I can easily grab to. And then the top shelves I can use for something pretty, maybe. I don't know. I do have some room there on the wall. I don't want things all on shelves because I don't like the feeling of stuff like caving in on me, but I'm thinking that would be a nice place to put things that I like to look at, pretty things, you know? And there, and there, and there. All right, so let's go grab that rack. Guess I can just take you with me. Bum, ba, da, bum. And, you know I said it before, I might have to lose my little cookie corner and just figure something else out that's in my craft room, because I think I need that space for other things. All right, this rack is so easy to push, but I don't think I can do it with all of you. So I'll be back. Okay, I decided I'm not pulling that rack in here right now. I'm gonna wait. I think my next step is maybe cleaning off a couple of these shelves back here, getting my dresser moved over into this area. I'm really tired right now. I definitely need a break. I'm not really sure how long I've been doing this for. Let me see. You know what? Let me check really quick. I'm going to see. Start to me sitting here right now thinking about having a nice ice cold bottle of water and watching maybe a show or something. Okay, the first video clip started at 11:17 a.m. and it is now 1:06 p.m. So I'm really impressed with myself. That's a lot of work. So what that tells me is I'm going to be in a lot of pain. I could be in so much pain. But I have a lot of work to do. Again, that's the reason why I took the whole month of October off. Today is October 11th. I really feel like I can get this done, but to get this table that I probably am not going to use now out of my craft room, I had to disassemble an entire area in my craft room. So I did that also. I have to go put it back together. Anyways, thanks so much, my friends, for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed the little footage. I'll have, like, I'm sure you already know by now because it played. There was music. I had to put music because I needed to make it. Otherwise, it was going to be completely silent. Silent movies. And it wasn't black and white. I feel like I should be black and white if it's going to be completely silent. Would that be fun? I don't know. I don't even know how to do that. And after that little conversation, I decided a couple more things weren't working. So let me give you the updated tour of this so far. It's not done. It still has the messy area there. And my big light's not plugged in. So this is how dim it is in the room. That's why I have to use that other one. I went ahead and moved those shelves down and the dresser over there. I did try it out in the spot behind my table and there was just too much. It gave me too much space in between the two. And I would have to keep that for everything to work. And that wasn't working. So I moved the dresser under the window, which I like better because I like my only window down here. I like that light to come through. And it's still very close to where my table is. Let me come this way. So see, that's where I'll be working. I brought another shelf in that it was full in the crafting room. So there's a huge mess in there. I'm going to give you a quick look just so you can see, like, it's a disaster zone. That's the way I do it though. When I move things around, it is a disaster zone. I tear apart and to put back together. Does anybody else do it that way? Anyhow, I do like my light to stay in that corner, so I just fit it in there. The dresser, I can actually move. I can open that drawer without it even touching. It just makes it past that metal bar right there for the rack. I went ahead and put both the racks behind me. And so that's where I'll sit when I do cells. I'll have another table with some shelves right there beside me, which is what I needed. I have my racks behind me of things that I need to, like all that stuff on those, except for the top 2 shelves on both of them, need to be gone. Whether I sell them or I get rid of them one way or the other, like it needs to disappear so that I can utilize them in a better way. My goal is that, really my goals change because right now I'm thinking like, I want one of these racks removed and put into the other room where I can store stuff. And then as I start selling, I see different ways that they work out. So I guess I need to stop saying my goal. My goal is to have a clean and functional area. That really is the goal. So keeping my packaging materials in the same place that I sell stuff and package stuff is, I think, a nice thing to do. It saves time getting things and looking for things when you're in the midst of trying to put that all together. I still have space right here to put my moving rack, and I still have space there to put my light, my ring light, which I need. I don't know what else I can do. What I would really love to do is have Jason get me better lighting for my ceiling and having a drop-down light that I can use over my desk. That's what I'd love. I would love that. I just don't know what to get. And lighting is so expensive. It's like, I can't keep buying it to try it out because you can't take it back. And then I have that wooden piece right there that I'm going to use. And then I have under my table for my boxes. I really think this is going to work. So this is the updated version. So I know I just gave a big old spiel, a little sit down talk, but this is where I'm at right now. All the other rooms are super messy. I'm going to now take you for a quick little tour just so you can see. This is what it's like. Still, I showed you that already. I have this to go through, and I just get rid of stuff. But if my room's working the way it does, I'm not going to get rid of my kooky corner until I need to. There's stuff, garbage that needs to go out. Every time you move, every time you clean, you find more stuff that needs to leave. There's my moving rack that will end up in there. And then going into my crafting area. So let's just see. Let's just see what's happening here. My chair's stacked. So my chair is filled with all my bags from my trip to Nebraska to see Denise. And it also has other stuff in there. And then I have my mats that were on the table. There was a table right here. There used to be a table right there. That's gone. And everything is all over the place, all over the floor. I don't have a place to put it. So on the floor it goes. And then that wooden piece that's in the room right now was sitting against my desk right here. And look, there's things I've lost, and there they are, along with dust and garbage and all that good stuff. So this room will have to be tackled next. Again, the reason why I took the rest of October off, because it just has to get done. I have a time limit. I need to do it. And I'm hoping that I can get it done and that Jason will be able to get me the table that I really want on that wall and move all that stuff. I honestly don't think that's going to happen. He's got some big jobs coming up. But you know what? It's a step in the right direction. And then I think I'm going to get all these papers. I'm going to try and sell as much paper as I possibly can at really, really good prices. It's a lot of paper that I picked up during my estate sales because I need to empty out these containers. I don't use these containers. They're actually, some of them I can open up easily with my hands, but the majority of them I can't. So I need a different thing. I need a different way to store my projects and stuff. So I don't want all these containers either. I really don't think I do. But they're going to move into the utility room, I think, once I get that cleaned out. So there we are. That's progress. And what I always have to do is I like to walk back into my room. Like, how does it feel when you walk in? I feel I have plenty of space here, to walk. I need some cleaning up. I have space to walk. I'm not tripping. I can turn easily. I'm not hitting my hips. I don't like sharp corner furniture. This desk is a sharp corner. So I don't want to hit my legs or my hips on it. If you're a person that walks into things with your hips and your legs, and you know what I'm talking about. I have friends who are like, How do you how do you do that? Don't you just watch where you're walking? I don't. I barrel through. Anyways, friends, I hope you enjoy this little walkthrough, and yeah, I think that's about it. All right, friends. Now it's truly goodbye until the next video. I will try to record stuff. I'll see how this one hits. If I get a lot of views on this, then maybe I'll do it again. If not, I'll probably just take clips here and there and then just load it that way. It's not that I don't want to share with my friends. It does take a lot of time to stop and hit record, make sure it's recording, and then, you know, like I lost that big clip. There was some stuff I was doing. You guys should have seen me. I was climbing on chairs and ladders and all kinds of stuff, but maybe it's a good thing you didn't see that. Anyhow, I'm going to say bye for now. So I will see you on the next video, my friends. Enjoy all your moments. Bye.